know you're saying, oh, not another thing. However, I think I have to do a little bit of a talk. Oh, I forgot. Thank you. So, I want to say my personal welcome to each and every one of you, and thank you for coming. This is such a great joy and a great day for celebrating. So I want to talk a little bit about the call to religious life, and I believe it has been both a blessing and a grace. My vocation began with my parents, who were so imbued with the love of God that they taught us from the beginning that God had to be first in our lives. Their faith and love of God were tried and tested in many ways throughout the years, as you can imagine, with 9 children, each with a very different personality and requiring different kinds of help. And so, for that reason alone, they can be canonized saints. But they won't probably be that, but we know that they are saints. My siblings also taught me how to live in a world of diversity, and we spent many hours together in that small town of Dunmore, Pennsylvania. It's right outside of Scranton, but we still hold the fact that we are Dunmore. Yes, we had our moments and our disagreements and our pranks, but we also had moments of joy and love, and I believe that it's their influence that also led me to become religious. There have been many religious with whom I have lived who are examples for me of what religious life should be, and they include as well my aunts, Sister Angela, Letitia, and my uncle brother Ronan. And it was because of all that they have taught me and all the people who have lived with me that I have grown to be the person I am today. This is what I believe I have gleaned from all of these people and all of my living religious life, and people with whom I have lived and taught and been with on the missions that I have been in, and all of you here at Community Peace. And so they are 3. 1, love is the motivation of all that we do as religious women. It is the foundation and vow of our vow of chastity, and it is the basis of life, which makes us get up in the morning and decide that we are going to be about the ministry of that day, whatever it is that it's called us to. 2 is our dependence on God. That is a very important part of all that we are and do. And it is realization that all that we have has been provided to us by God. Both that, whether that be food, clothing, completing the tasks of the day, or trying to stare some great need in the face and say, I have to get about doing that. So it is reliance on God that brings us to the second vow of poverty. Obedience is the third vow of religious life, and it is that which we are called to listen intently to God. First and foremost, God, and all that God has in store for us, and in that listening intently to respond to that intimate relationship that God has called us to with Himself. It is that part of that that helps us to realize that we also listen intently to our religious leaders of our congregation and to the people with whom we live directly. Anyone who's married knows how difficult it is to listen intently to all the people in the family and all the judgment that has to go back and forth. So you can imagine what that's like when you live with other women. Whether that's 2, 4, 10, or so on. I have had the privilege of living with as few as 2 people and as many as 25 at one time. That was a challenge. But I loved being a sister. I have always loved being a sister and don't regret any part of the past 50 years of my life. And so I want to speak as not just something by the way, but God could be calling you to this, and it would be a wonderful thing. Think about it. And I also request that you would probably think about a time when you are praying together as a family that you would, is such, pray for vocations to the religious life and to the priesthood. I want to thank each and every one of you for coming here today. I want to thank my family, in particular, for their efforts at getting here, and some of those have been great efforts. And I want to thank all of our IHM associates who have joined us in this first row. And I thank all of you for all the hard work that you have done to make this day possible. In particular, I want to say thank you to Father Jeff and Father Kenneth, to all of our musicians, and to all of the staff and all the women and men who have done so much work to bring all of this day apart together. Oh well, that's a good part.
That's good.